Remember when they were little, when you were basically their whole world, the one they always wanted to be around.
Oh, yeah. The then years. Your job felt, well, simply, didn't it? Keep them safe, encourage the good stuff, keep that bond strong.
Right. Manageable. And then, bam, it's like the
Wow.
switch flips. Suddenly hugs are rare. Questions turn into eye rolls, maybe.
Uh-huh. And being seen with you, forget it. Suddenly you're just parenting a teenager.
It's such a huge shift. That old job description just kind of evaporates, and you're left thinking, okay, what do I even do now? How do I connect?
That lost feeling is exactly it. It's the core challenge.
And that's what we're diving into today. We're digging into 123 Magic Teen by Dr. Thomas Phelan, The Mission, to really get our heads around this massive difference between parenting little kids the then and teens the now.
Yeah, understanding their world and how our role changes,
Yeah.
finding ways to navigate it.
Exactly. Not trying to rewind, but figuring out how to guide them now towards adulthood.
And Dr. Phelan is really clear about this upfront. Before you try any strategy, you need what he calls straight thinking.
Straight thinking.
Yeah,
man.
basically trying to parent a teen without understanding what it's actually like for them. It's like driving at night with no headlights. You're just flying blind.
Okay, let's flick those headlights on then. What is the reality for teenagers today? It feels so different from when we were kids.
It really is a whole new ballgame. Adolescence, as the source describes it, isn't just hormones and growth spurts. It's a time when they're tackling these really daunting assignments. Think huge, life-shaping tasks.
Daunting assignments, okay, besides mastering the art of the grunt.
Slight chuckle. Right. Well, first, just making sense of the world, other people, and honestly figuring out who they even are.
That identity piece, huge.
Massive. Then finding and keeping friends. That becomes critical. And finding a romantic partner, a soulmate. The source notes this can get almost obsessive, with all the new feelings around sex and romance hitting them.
Yeah, suddenly friends and romance are front and center, way more than before.
Totally. And beyond that, they're facing down the idea of a job, a career path, actually leaving home, becoming independent financially,
Wow.
and, just figuring out how to enjoy life day to day. These are enormous things they have to figure out, mostly alone. Their friends are in the same boat, which is reassuring, but also adds competition.
You mentioned the job and independence thing. The source talks about questioning the establishment.
Right. A lot of teens look at the whole system, jobs, money, the machine, and they question it. Is it fair? Is it exploitative? Do I even want to join this?
And that questioning can last a long time.
Yeah, the source says that dilemma, that wrestling with whether to buy in or not, can start around 11 and easily go into their early 20s, sometimes longer.
Which ties right into this idea of prolonged adolescence. That's a really key concept, isn't it?
Yeah.
And how it feels, well, insulting.
It's absolutely central. Adolescence today often stretches way beyond the teens. Think puberty starting around 11 for some, then needing extended education for jobs. They might not be truly independent until 22 or even later.
So they feel capable mentally and maybe physically, but society keeps them dependent.
Exactly. Dependent for food, shelter, direction. And that feeling of being held back, of not being treated like the capable person they feel they're becoming, the source argues it's deeply insulting.
That makes so much sense.
And it fuels a lot of that irritation towards adults, that feeling of alienation, understanding that frustration is just vital for parents.
So it's not just random moods. There's a real structural thing happening. What else is going on in their world?
Intense self-consciousness, especially younger teens. It's like they're constantly on stage, performing for some imaginary audience.
Oh, I remember that feeling. Every little thing feels huge.
Totally. And they genuinely believe no one understands what they're going through, especially not you, the parent, even though, you were a teen once.
Yeah. Right. The source says, think back to, like, messing up a presentation in class.
Yeah.
That mortification.
Exactly. That fear of embarrassment, especially public humiliation, is excruciating. And parents, we often react without remembering how incredibly sensitive we were at that age.
And all this is happening while their bodies and brains are changing at lightning speed.
It's the second fastest period of change after infancy. Growth spurts, body shape changes. Just getting used to their own changing bodies is a massive task. The source calls it navigating non-dangerous alterations. Learning to parent through that is part of the new art form.
And then there's the weirdness, the deliberate shock value.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. The loud music, the crazy clothes, the posters, being different from adults, but importantly, similar to their peers. That's key.
Like the example of the checkout person with the blue and orange hair.
Right. It's partly self-expression, figuring things out. And the song kind of cheekily suggests partly about keeping parents off balance, confused. Music is huge here, too, always pushing boundaries to connect with teens and, well,
Traumatized parent.
slight chuckle. Pretty much, yeah. That seems to be part of the goal sometimes.
So with all this internal stuff and external expression, they naturally start to pull away, right? Physically and emotionally.
They do. Less family time, more time with friends. Relationships become very private, sometimes secret, and those romantic relationships can be incredibly intense. This source points out the real worry about depression, even suicide risk after breakups. It's serious.
So they're tackling these huge life tasks, feeling misunderstood, changing rapidly, super self-conscious, pulling away, and they often sound like, what was it, budding trial attorneys.
Chuckles. Yeah. That idealism combined with, let's face it, inexperience about the long haul of life, relationships, careers.
Yeah.
That's why arguments ramp up. Arguing too much is a massive parent complaint.
But the source says listen carefully.
Yeah. Beneath the arguments, if you can stay calm and really listen, you might actually hear some valid points, some good ideas trying to get out.
Okay, and then there's the really scary part for parents. Risk-taking.
This is where the parental anxiety really spikes. Because teens are experimenters by nature. Driving is obviously huge.
The freedom, right.
Great.
But the lack of experience.
Exactly. And the source makes a crucial point. It's often the risky habits that are more dangerous than just inexperience. Not wearing seatbelts, speeding, and especially phones. Texting while driving. For under 20s, it makes a crash 23 times more likely.
23 times, wow.
And drunk driving is tragically common in teen fatalities.
Drugs and alcohol are right up there too in terms of worry.
Definitely, often linked to accidents. The advice here is steer clear of the single big talk or scare tactics. It's better to have smaller, ongoing conversations as things come up.
Ask them questions, listen more.
Yes, find out what they know or think. Ask probing questions, listen without jumping down their throat. There's even practical advice like talk about what happens if drunk friends show up unexpectedly. For curfews, set the rule clearly once, then just wish them a good time. Don't nag.
And sex and romance. There's that awkward gap between society bombarding them with messages and parents feeling uncomfortable talking about it.
Right, and that gap has real consequences. Unwanted pregnancy, STDs, they're still major risks, often fueled by bad information or lack of access to help. And the source also mentions the added layer of stress and risk for LGBTQ teens navigating their orientation.
The elephant in the room today? Technology. 9 hours a day. Constantly online.
It's staggering, isn't it? It's just their world. But it comes with risks. Violence in media and games. I mean, seeing thousands of murders on TV by 8th grade, committing countless virtual ones.
Like in Grand Theft Auto or Call of Duty.
Exactly. Then there's porn exposure, often starting really young, like 11 or 12. Sexual predators online, cyberbullying, and just the constant arguments it creates with parents over time, cost, content.
Plus, they usually know more about the tech than we do.
Often, yeah. Which makes setting limits tricky.
Okay, wow. So, summing up their world. Huge internal pressure, defining identity, feeling misunderstood, chafing against dependence, intense self-consciousness, idealism, big risks, pulling away. It's just night and day compared to when they were little.
It really puts it all in perspective, doesn't it? And here's a really crucial, maybe uncomfortable idea that links it all. The source says the more distance and hostility there is between a parent and teen, the greater the danger for that teen.
So that emotional gap actually increases the risks.
Yeah.
The big four risks: driving, drugs, sex, tech.
It directly aggravates them. That hostility wall makes everything more dangerous.
Which leads us straight into how our job changes.
Yeah.
The shifting dynamics. And the source has some tough news for us parents here.
Yeah, the tough news is pretty blunt. Your anxiety is way up because the potential consequences are so serious now. Think about the big four. But your direct control, it's way down. You can't physically stop a 17-year-old doing something risky like you could a 5-year-old.
High anxiety, low control.
That's
Like a recipe for freaking out.
Totally. So how do you manage that? It starts with managing yourself, your thoughts specifically. The source hammers this home. Thoughts cause feelings.
Okay.
How you interpret their behavior drives your reaction. Remember that example. Teen gets in the car, complains about school. Parent thinks, same old bad mood, grow up. Parent feels angry, says something sharp.
And boom, hostility wall, unsafe teen, lousy evening.
Exactly. So the right way is about changing your internal script. It's a 4-step thing.
Okay, what are the steps?
1, notice your irritation rising. But then consciously tell yourself, okay, this is probably normal teen stuff. I need to adjust. Think, he sounds upset. 2, pause. Deep breath. Think. Decide not to do the usual angry thing. 3, reevaluate that first thought, he's being a jerk, and replace it with something more helpful, like maybe something bad happened today. 4, result. Less anger from you, safer space for them, better interaction.
That 4-step thing, that is basically not taking it personally, but as a skill, right?
Exactly. It's partly insight, understanding, okay, they need to separate. This phase is tough for them too. And it's partly a skill you practice when you feel that irritation coming.
And the source says it's not just more realistic, it makes you feel better too.
Way better, because honestly, they're probably not going to stop needing that separation while they live with you. So the change has to come from you. That whole, how was your day? Fine, routine. It's often just, going through the motions. Their real emotional connection has shifted to friends.
So relax about it. Let them do what we probably did.
Kind of liberating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, relax the need for that constant closeness. It's developmentally normal for them to pull towards peers.
Okay, so manage our reactions, manage our expectations.
Yeah.
Foundational. But that doesn't mean no rules, right? Just letting go entirely.
Oh, absolutely not. House rules are still needed while they live there. But the key is keep them minimal. Keep them crystal clear. Make sure everyone understands them.
And maybe don't jump straight to punishment for every little thing.
Right. Talk calmly about first offenses. And remember, rules can change. As they get older, show more responsibility, you can adjust. Focus rules on the big stuff, regular arguments, or those major first offenses you just can't ignore.
What about problems that just keep happening? The repeat offenses.
Okay, that's a two-pronged approach, according to the source. First, actively work on improving the relationship itself. Praise, shared fun, sympathetic listening, avoiding those 4 cardinal sins we need to talk about.
Okay, relationship first and second.
Second is reasonable supervision, clear rules, and using what the source calls the major-minor system for consequences.
Major-minor system. Sounds like a structured way to handle consequences.
That's exactly it. It gives you a framework based on seriousness. Major, medium, minor offenses get different consequences. Examples could be grounding, fines, maybe pay for damage, or double the value of something, stolen extra chores, community service, even an educational task like researching the issue.
And you tailor it to your family.
Yes. Create your own system, write it down, maybe even have them sign it so everyone's clear. It adds weight.
Okay, what about managing those big 4 risks again? Driving, drugs, sex, tech. If control is lower, how do we approach those specifically?
Can't control everything. That's the reality. So you take reasonable prevention steps, clear rules, yes. Staying somewhat in touch, just knowing the basics of where they are, who they're with. And crucially, take care of yourself so you're calm when discussing these things.
And then trust them.
At some point, yes. After you've done the reasonable preparation, the source makes a great distinction between preparation and worry. Plans are made once. Worry just goes on, even with good plans.
So, for driving, what's reasonable prevention?
Treat driving as a privilege. Model good driving yourself. That's huge. The source strongly suggests practicing driving together for like 1,000 miles in all sorts of conditions before they get their license.
1,000 miles?
Yeah. Yeah, it emphasizes experience. Also, have them contribute to insurance. Maybe save up for the first 6 months' worth. And keep reinforcing that texting and other distractions are incredibly dangerous for new drivers.
Okay. Drugs and alcohol.
Again, think gradual, ongoing chats, not one big lecture. Ask what they think, listen non-judgmentally, ask open questions. Don't leave them home alone overnight without talking about potential party scenarios. Set clear rules on hours just once. And if you suspect a real problem, get professional help early.
What about drinking with them at home?
The source is pretty clear. Maybe a small sample on a special occasion is one thing, but regular recreational drinking together at home, not a good idea.
Gotcha. Sex and romance.
Similar approach.
Yeah.
Frequent calm talks.
Yeah.
Start early, keep it going. Acknowledge the weirdness, society's loud messages versus parental quietness. Focus on real consequences. Pregnancy, STDs. Be sensitive to sexual orientation issues too. And if pregnancy happens, get counseling involved immediately to explore all options involving the father if possible.
And technology. The source said it's basically uncontrollable, but needs instruction like driving.
Yeah, high use is just normal now. Fighting it constantly is probably a losing battle. Better to treat it like driving a privilege that requires instruction, agreement, responsibility.
Role-play peer pressure situations, maybe.
Good idea. Talk about how they'll handle pressure outside the house.
Wow.
Expect rules to be tested, definitely. Praise cooperation. For repeat violations, try one-on-one talks first, then maybe use your major-minor system. But here's the kicker.
What?
Controlling tech is really hard. They have access everywhere. So the source says the absolute primary concern has to be keeping the relationship open and friendly.
Because tech wars destroy the relationship.
Exactly. And a damaged relationship makes all the risks worse, including tech risks. So manage your own feelings about their screen time before you try to manage the screen time itself.
Wow, that's huge. The relationship itself is the main protection. Which brings us back to managing ourselves. It sounds like before tackling any problem, we need to get our own heads straight.
Precisely. And speaking of problems, the source makes this super helpful distinction between what it calls MBAs, minor but aggravating issues, and serious issues.
MBAs, I like that. Minor, but aggravating. Tell me more.
It's such a liberating concept. It means recognizing that just because something bugs you intensely doesn't mean it's actually a serious problem.
Like your music.
Okay.
Or messy room. Or questionable fashion choices.
Exactly. Or sloppy grammar, skipping a family picnic, a bit of a negative attitude, picky eating, how they spend allowance, borrowing your stuff, forgetting chores sometimes. These are usually MBAs.
And the advice for MBAs is basically,
for older teens especially, don't open your mouth unless you have a very, very good reason. Just let it go. Choose your battles. Don't engage.
okay, pick your battles. Love it.
Yeah.
But obviously, some things are serious.
Oh, absolutely. Things like clinical depression, ADHD showing severe problems, conduct disorder, eating disorders, serious substance abuse, major issues related to divorce. These aren't MBAs.
They need more intervention.
Yes, often professional help. And it's critical to know the danger signs for suicide threats, giving things away, hopelessness, withdrawal. The source stresses that teen suicide is often planned, not just impulsive. So take any sign seriously and get help fast.
So how do we navigate these different levels? The source mentioned different roles parents can take.
Right. It lays out a kind of spectrum of involvement: observer, advisor, negotiator, and director. Least intrusive to most intrusive.
Observer sounds like just watching.
Pretty much. For competent kids, handling things okay, and for those MBAs. You trust them, keep an eye out, offer sympathetic listening if they seek it. The source suggests using an awful scale, like 0 to 100, where 100 is the absolute worst thing imaginable. It helps you put things in perspective. Blue hair might feel like an 80, but it's probably, what, a 5? Maybe a 10.
Helps avoid overreacting. Okay, negotiator.
That's making a deal. For problems where they can participate in the solution, you calmly set up a time to talk. Importantly, get their ideas first, aim for a compromise, write it down, praise effort. If it doesn't work, renegotiate.
And director. That sounds serious.
It is. That's when you have to take charge because of immediate danger, like a suicide threat. Might mean hospitalization. It could even mean, for an older teen whose behavior is really dangerous or abusive, setting firm boundaries that might lead to them having to leave home. The source uses an example: obnoxious Arnie.
That sounds incredibly difficult, like failure.
The source acknowledges parents feel that way, but it also reminds us you're human, you have limits, and sometimes things don't work out as planned for many reasons beyond your control.
So you shift roles based on the situation.
Yeah.
Observer for small stuff, negotiator for shared problems, director for crises.
That's the idea. Adapting your approach to the specific issue and your teen's capability at that moment.
This all sounds exhausting, especially if the relationship is already strained. How do we actually protect that connection? Stay connected through all this.
Okay, first, let's talk about what not to do. The source calls them the 4 cardinal sins. Basically, our impulsive emotional reactions when we get irritated, they really wreck the relationship.
Like jumping on them with a problem the minute they walk in.
Yeah. Spur-of-the-moment problem discussions, you're ready, they're not. Guaranteed to increase friction, decrease cooperation. Bad idea.
Nagging has to be one.
Oof. Cardinal sin number 2, totally ineffective, just breeds resentment. Number 3 is insight transplants.
Insight transplants.
Trying to force your realization onto them. Don't you see how lazy you're being? Or can't you understand that friend is bad news? They have to get there themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Creates resistance. And the 4th.
Arguing. Just arguing. It's almost never productive, the source says. It digs trenches, makes positions extreme, becomes about winning, not understanding or solving.
So the cycle is, teen pulls away or takes risks, parent feels rejected or scared, parent gets irritated, parent uses a cardinal sin, relationship gets worse.
Exactly. Vicious cycle. So what to do instead? Basically the opposites. Start with listening. The right way.
Active listening.
Yes, really trying to understand their perspective, even if you disagree. Use little prompts like, oh, or really. Use summaries. Okay, so it sounds like you felt, or, let me see if I got this right. It shows you're trying, lets them correct you, and the tone has to be calm, genuine.
Hard to do when you're irritated.
Which is why managing yourself first is key. Another to-do, talk about yourself sometimes.
Instead of grilling them.
Right. Don't make every conversation an interrogation about their life. Share something about your day, your challenges, something interesting, maybe even a relatable story from when you were a teen. It makes it feel safer, more like a real conversation.
And the source says the absolute most important thing for the relationship is
Shared fun, non-negotiable. It builds that positive buffer. Simple rules, no heavy topics allowed during fun time. Go one-on-one with a parent, feels less formal. Do it regularly. That backup effect makes daily stuff easier. Find something you both actually like.
movie and food is the classic suggestion.
Yeah, it's kind of the easiest fallback. Less pressure to talk during, give you something to talk about after. And if they refuse, don't take it personally. Just be patient, keep offering, try other things, and always, always catch them being good. Notice the positives, however small. Acknowledge them.
This is a lot. If things are really tough, where do you even start?
Start with what you control. You can't force connection, but you can control your reactions. You can practice listening. You can stop using the cardinal sins. Start there. Build from there.
And underpinning absolutely everything, self-care for the parent. You mentioned this being crucial.
The source calls it the crucial first step. If you're running on empty, stressed out, feeling like that dreamer meets disillusioned parent, you will snap. You'll use cardinal sins on MBAs. It's called emotional dumping.
Taking stress from work out on the teen.
Exactly. Or just general life stress. Taking care of yourself gives you the reserves to be calm, to think clearly, to actually solve problems instead of just reacting. It prevents so much damage.
The source also mentioned a kind of psychological game that's really destructive.
Ah, yes. The now I've got you, you son of a bitch game. It's from transactional analysis, basically the unconscious setup where you wait for someone to mess up so you can justify letting loose with anger.
Anger feels good sometimes.
It can be weirdly satisfying, almost addictive. Playing it with a teen looks like seeing them as only a problem, nitpicking constantly, diagnosing their flaws, always voicing worries, blowing up after your bad day, clinging to righteous indignation.
Sounds awful.
It is. And the source adds other ways parents wreck trust, trying to regain control, searching rooms, clever but mean arguments, eavesdropping, reading diaries. It feels like control, but it just destroys the connection.
Which is the opposite of what we need.
Totally. Which brings us back to the core blueprint here. All these strategies, managing our own feelings, using systems like major minor for rules, picking battles with MBAs, prioritizing listening and fun, taking care of ourselves, they all work together.
What's the ultimate goal?
To help you cope with the rejection and worry. Reduce the fighting at home, and this is critical. Protect your teen and the community by lowering those big four risks. The source's main point is so powerful. The worse the relationship, the higher the risk. The more respectful and open the connection, even if it's different now, the safer everyone is. And frankly, the more pleasant life is at home.
Wow. This deep dive into 123 Magic Teen really underscores how much parenting teens is about us shifting, isn't it? Changing our own thinking, our approach, not just wishing they were little again.
Yeah.
We've looked at the huge things they're dealing with, the risks, the changes, and then the strategies for us managing ourselves, setting smart boundaries, letting go of the small stuff, and just fundamentally prioritizing that connection and our own sanity.
It's definitely a time of distance and risk, yeah. But also incredible growth for them, obviously, moving towards independence, but for us, too, as we learn this new way of parenting.
And thinking about that prolonged adolescence idea from the source, you know, teens maybe not fully launching until their 20s now, it really leaves you wondering, doesn't it? How does that change how we think about launching them, and what does it mean for our relationship with them long after they're technically adults?
It's a fascinating question. A whole new landscape for us all to navigate, really, for them and for us parents.